my worst nightmare. Like if I go on Pinterest, I can be on there or anything, Pinterest, go anywhere, and I will be on there for like 3 hours trying to find exactly like inspiration. I like to do like my own little thing, you know. But and I finally came up kind of like I said. Oh, and I made my own stand to put nails on, like you know, like to do them instead of having them on my fingers first, you know. And you can always buy them off of Amazon, but like I didn't have them, so like I made me one, and it actually came out really good. Um, so like you put the little sticky things on them. I could show you out in a little bit. Like it's pretty impressive. Um, so I did that, and that's all I did all day. I feel like I never did anything productive, but it's okay. What did you do today, Jeanette?
Oh, nothing.
Awesome.
I cleaned the front room.
There you go, girl. Get it, get
I
it.
gotta get ready for. I gotta get ready for the Christmas tree.
Oh, y'all, did y'all get a Christmas tree out, Gypsy?
Not yet. Ken wants a real one, so we have to wait a little closer to Christmas.
Yeah. Didn't y'all, didn't y'all get a Christmas tree last year?
Yeah,
Okay. But this would be like y'all real first Christmas all together.
because I was pregnant for Christmas, and then I had her a few days later. So
And you were still on parole, so you were
yeah,
still kind of in half and half.
yeah.
Oh, too exciting though. And then, man, then Aurora's birthday's right after. I hated having, I hated my birthday being January 3rd because it's so close to Christmas. And, it feels like, you know, boom, boom. It just does. I wish it would have been more space to support, but it is, but Aurora's is really close.
I always thought about that too. I was like, oh, you know, those poor kids that have their birthday right around Christmas, and then I ended up having a daughter with a birthday around Christmas.
That's crazy that it landed on your parole date, though. Like,
I know.
I mean, not on your parole date, on your release date. Like, what?
Is that crazy or what?
Yeah, absolutely insane. It was kind of good though. You know what? I love that for you because you know how Lifetime was on like vacation, and I know that was supposed to be like a little bit part of it, but like I feel like you got to like it got to be more personal, you know, and like intimate with y'all, and you didn't have to worry about all the chaos of that. Like I think I mean I think it would have been fine either way, but I don't know. I was kind of happy that happened for you.
I know, because nobody was prepared for that. Like, a lot of people were, the crew was on vacation, and even our producer, one of our producers was in Los Angeles, and so, like, she was not prepared for it either. And, like, we didn't know how this was going to go. Like, we didn't really talk about the specifics of what all we were going to film. And so when it came down to it, and we talked about like who was going to be in the room with us for the birth, and I was like, well, you know, Christy, Mia, your mom, and then when it came down to it, you know, one of the producers was like, do you want us to leave? And I looked at Ken and I'm like, I don't know, like this is all happening like fast because my brain was still trying to process, you're 10 centimeters dilated, it's time to push. So I'm like, I don't know. And so Ken was like, okay, no, everybody has to go.
That's good.
And I was like,
Good for him.
okay.
Good.
I love that about Ken. That's good. Y'all got to have that, you know.
Yeah.
Y'all's moment. I was so happy, you know, my sister, since I haven't been able to have kids, when she had Alana, she let me come in the room just so I could experience that with her, you know. So it was just nice to be able to be there with her and experience that because who knows, I might not, maybe I will, who knows. But yeah, it's such a beautiful thing.
It's not at all what I thought.
Yeah, I guess you never know if you're in that moment. Man, my sister, it was so crazy. She was like in poor thing. She was in so much pain, and they were coming. She was waiting for them to like come give. I think it wasn't working like the epidural, but then when the doctor came to come give her give it to her, she was like, I can't. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, she was so much, and she's like, I can literally see her. And, like, there was not, so she just said, but it, like, and when I tell you, it was just like, boom. Like, it was that fast. But, she didn't even get to, like, the doctor didn't even get to give her, she ended up basically, I mean, giving, I haven't, you know, her without an epidural. Because, you know how, like,
It's rough.
like she had gotten it, I think, too early, maybe. I just know that at that moment it was not working, and she was like, "Oh my god!" Like I almost had to leave. Like I could feel her pain, but not really. You know, like she
Yeah.
was, it was in so much pain, but it was just over, just like that though. But because it wasn't like that for Kai or Isaiah, but for Lana, the girl. But my poor baby's sick though. Isaiah. Oh my man.
Oh,
He's
what's wrong with them?
he's got a really bad cough. I mean, it's gotten a little bit better since she gave him a breathing treatment yesterday. But but poor thing, he just all day long he's like, he like just wants all day, poor baby. But he's being
That's the worst.
I know. He just wants to be loved on and held. I mean, he actually like look at him.
Oh,
It's like you can
so
see it in his
cute.
eyes, but he's got like little sick eyes.
Mhm.
But my poor baby. But he was being like he'll still give you a little smile here and there. But it reminds me so much of Kai when he was little. He would just have like these little sick eyes, and he would just try his hardest to be just happy. But my poor baby. It seems like I guess because of the daycare, you know, working at daycare, like when your kids are in daycare. I mean, just like in school, like they get they're a lot more likely to get sick. Because they're around other kids, you know. So it seems like not that he gets sick a lot, but I mean, I guess it's good to build up his immune system. But man, my poor baby, I feel like he just got over like um the same exact thing, probably like 4 months. But yeah, God, I feel so. I'm telling you, I need to. Telling you, I need to finish. I at least have to finish my nails today. I feel so. I feel like I was just so unproductive. I don't know if you ever get like that, but I like to at least like accomplish one thing throughout the day, unless I'm just know I'm gonna have a lazy day, you know. But if I'm just like bumming it and just sitting around the house all day, I feel so blah when I don't get anything at all done. And even though nails is not that important, it's like I fucking work on them things all day. Like I have to finish them. But but yeah. Wait, who's this trying to come up? Oh, Evelyn. I didn't see you down there, girl.
Hey,
Hey, Ev.
hey, girl.
What
I'm
did
gonna
you
eat
do
real
today,
quick.
Evelyn?
Hmm.
What did you do today?
I went brunching with girls, with my friends, and then kind of just chilled out all day. Enjoyed my day off.
You go back to work tomorrow?
I do, sadly. I think we're hanging out this weekend, but I'll text you about that.
Oh wait, did whatchamacallit come in?
Who?
Or is that wait, Danny?
Oh no, yeah, she came for the game, and I think she's coming back. So
Oh, okay,
yeah, no,
okay.
I'm gonna text her. She's coming back.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to see Danny, man.
I know it's been so long. I feel like
I know.
was the last time was when she came down for Gypsy's parole party.
Oh, yeah. I think so. I mean, but we text all the time.
Yeah.
She's doing good. Yeah. There's
It's just
Stephanie.
who?
Steph- hmm
Wait, Bethany.
Stephanie.
Oh.
Stephanie,
Oh, good.
cookie lady.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she's trying to come up.
No, she
She's
just
in
came
the
in the
chat.
chat.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
Stephanie.
I thought I saw her.
And everyone say hello to Audrey because she is streaming.
Hello, Audrey.
Hello, Audrey.
Audrey, do you have a question, Audrey? Gypsy, wait. It's so funny. Oh wait, you seen the post?
What post?
The one that she was like, I found this person on Facebook comments, and she was sitting next to Gypsy in court, and like I proved that was a lie.
Yeah, I didn't look at that.
And
I mean, I know
I
you
think you
told me
no,
about
you
it, but I didn't
commented
go
on
look at the
it.
post.
I think you commented on it. Maybe you
I
probably didn't
didn't.
see her post though. But
No, I didn't see her post. I think I
well,
have her blocked.
yeah, I would too because she's annoying as fuck. But okay, so the thing that was weird is that like okay, so and I know you would know because you were in prison. So like like when you get like say if somebody was to get arrested and they have to see the judge in the morning, like
Hmm.
you or like say if you're seeing different judges, like the prisoners don't just like all go in like the outside the courthouse and sit together all
No,
together.
what
And
happens? What
it's
happens
just not
is
happening.
what happens is okay. So in Greene County, to be specific, okay, Greene County has two pods. They only have two women's pods. T1 and T2. T1 is for the lesser offenses, like drug and stuff like that,
Right.
or drug. Sorry. Um, and then there's T2 for the violent. On a court, if there's more than one individual, like girl, going on a court, they will, depending on what time, they will walk you together. But there is a bailiff that walks with you. They tell you no. They walk you down a long corridor, and then they put you, even if you're seeing the same judge, they put you in separate holding cells that you cannot talk to one another. They are sealed. They are completely separate
Right, it's
from
not like
one
you're in a
another.
damn cafe like sitting at. Oh,
No,
and the way that we do it, and the way they do it down here, and this isn't even a prison. This is just a jail. I don't know how. I don't know if that's where you were then, but they actually see him over a TV. Um, you like go to the judge in front of like I'm like when I've gone to court before for like a traffic ticket, they'll have like the people jail. So it's not like you're just sitting outside the courthouse somewhere, like
no, that
on
doesn't happen.
benches, like yeah. And then also there was nobody by that name that saw a Judge Brown, and that's what she said. So yeah, I love when I get to prove her wrong now.
Now there was a Judge Brown.
No, there is a Judge
Um,
Brown. There is a Judge Brown, but this girl was never seen by a Judge Brown. Like, 'cause I went and looked at all Missouri CaseNet. Um, yeah, so. And I saw the dates the times that you went to court. Supposedly this was at 8:30 in the morning. And, like, the times that, like, would have been around the same time as you, like, you didn't go to court anymore. It's 100% a lie. Not necessarily that Audrey is, I mean, she read this somewhere. Like, so it isn't like she made up the lie. Someone else did. She just told the lie.
Girl, you know who I was walking to court with?
You know.
My co-defendant.
Oh yeah, at that time, that's true.
They actually walked us together. And of course, we were told you cannot speak to one another or you're going to segregation. So we did not speak to each other. We got put in separate holding cells. He would go in first or I would go in first, and then they would take him out. They made sure that there would be as least contact as possible.
With probably any other person,
Yeah.
especially co-defendant. But that's what I was saying. I was just like, this ain't no freaking traffic tick. I mean, no traffic court. Like these people
No.
weren't just sitting in the fucking the pews together. Well, at the pews. I mean, it's like that in most courthouses, And like y'all just sitting together, like just all chilling. Hey, what's up? What you in for? Like, like. I don't think that's
Yeah.
how it works. People, to, you always have to like, just really be. How do I say this? Be careful of who you listen to, even if they're not intentionally trying to lie to you. It could be a lie. Look up that shit yourself if it's that important to you. Because it took me like 5 minutes to find out.
Well, that's the thing. Like I've said, oh yeah, that's what I commented on your video. I was like, it doesn't matter the truth, Bree. They will believe the shit they put out because it fits their narrative, and it's just what they want to believe. Like they're not going to believe the truth. They're going to look at the evidence that you've put in front of their face, and they're going to still say, oh no, I believe this.
Well, that's why I don't know why they want to ask you questions then if they're not going to believe you anyway.
Exactly.
I tell you what, if I went to prison, I'd probably spend all my time in segregation.
I can see that in you. I can see that in you, Dreamer.
Look at Dreamer.
I
Looking
would,
like
because
a
they say something
badass.
smart to me, I'd probably haul off and hit them.
You would.
You already
Yeah, I
know.
would.
I'm gonna be the prison DJ.
Freaking Dreamer coming through. That's going to be in prison.
Woo-woo.
Badass. She about to beat somebody. She about to make somebody have a seat, baby.
Oh, Gypsy, I don't want to talk about it in the live, but I just sent you a message.
Okay, thank you. I'll go check it after. I like that shirt she's wearing on that dress.
I know.
Pretty badass. Who's that woman?
Some quad person. I don't know. It's just a fairy tale. On.
I'm a little out of the know.
Just a fairy tale. No, look at Sheena. Where's Sheena?
I don't know.
I haven't seen her in a hot minute.
I know. No, Sheena needs that because
She's
she can
playing
see a
in the
picture.
alleys.
Love that.
I'm telling you, she's in the
Wait,
alleys right now.
wait. Right in front of the corrections office is another jet. Wait, what? Wait, wait, I'm trying to see what this person wrote. Let me see. Let's see. Then where do they keep the prisoners while we need to see a judge? And she said, let me see. Right in front of the corrections offices in the open, shackled. You have to, okay, you have to think, first of all, I'm sure not every court's going to be the same, but also, you also have to think of like a Gypsy's stuff was aired on TV, like when she went like when you saw it, she wasn't sitting with people in front of a judge. She came through doors. Like, where do you think she came from? Not sitting with other prisoners.
No.
It'd be a silly thing to lie about too. But yeah, just like any. I mean, this wasn't like. I mean, it's not like she robbed the candy store, like, or like she fucking sped, like was speeding 100 miles per hour. Like, I feel like in those cases, like you have the people like say if they went to jail that night, they'll see the judge in the morning unless it's the weekend. Then yeah, they might all go together and sit together, but that's completely different. It's just so different. I think people don't realize that. And also, every court's gonna maybe be different. I might invite her.
I did already.
Okay, good. Because I haven't seen her since I did, like, well, earlier, yeah, before I started making her picture, she was here and then she was gone.
Oh, she's playing in the streets. Trust me.
I haven't seen her.
Oh, I
I
have.
don't be playing that much in the streets, so.
So I was scrolling and I scrolled past a live. So when did he become such a bitch?
I know, girl.
Like, because like the last message that I had sent to her and she had sent to me, like we were.
So she lied yesterday. Y'all hear that? Because she said she was like, she like went basically all like basically went off on you and you never did respond to her. And I know that's a lie.
No, like the last message, it was chill, it was cool. She was like, "Yeah, I got nothing against you. You know, we're fine."
Yep, I know. She's a liar. No, what
Now, of course,
happens
I
is,
have been like off and on the app, but I didn't get a message from her since then.
yeah, because she's lying about it. But yeah, no, she decided like that when at first she was still even like she always has been very like defensive when it comes to like your mom, she never did change that, but she also like started understanding like things about you, and she was still after, and then it was just like little by little, some people don't know how to be friends with and
Hmm.
not be consumed by some of the hate because like for her, like that's what it is for her. She says things that aren't even true, that don't even make sense, that are, and it's no point in correcting her because I mean there's things that I could correct her on that even people that aren't pro you know that she's saying that's a lie. Um,
Right.
like knowing that that's a lie doesn't even change they believe about you. It's just the facts of the story. And like, so I didn't even watch. Somebody had recorded the live hers from yesterday. Or I don't know. And I started to watch it, and I was like, "Fuck this!" I was like, "I'm not watching this stupid ass shit." And
Well, I
actually,
was just a little taken back by it because I was like, I hadn't like checked out her lives or
yeah,
anything. So this is kind of like I went from those two messages to scrolling by her live, and I hear her be like just talking all kinds of crap and being like, oh yeah, she's just being bashing a dead woman and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, okay, can I just point out the fact that if nobody wants to be talked about in a negative way after they are no longer on this earth, then be a good fucking human being. You don't see anybody talking good about Hitler because he was a terrible, shitty human being.
exactly.
It's hard to talk good about someone when they were a shitty human being. Like, I'm sorry.
You know what? It really
That makes
started.
sense?
Yeah,
It
no,
started
that's what
with
I'm saying. A lot of people think they know you for some reason. So
Yeah, they act like they live with you.
Gypsy. It started way back. She used to be friends, like on our side or whatever you want to call it. We went live, and as Bree goes quiet, it's like quiet time. He was in the box. He misunderstood. He blew a gasket. She wouldn't listen to reason, and then she just went all ballistic.
Rolls. She'll roll into a live that she has no idea what's going on,
yeah,
and she'll hear one word and turns it into some knockdown, drag out fight.
every single time she'll be gone from TikTok. Maybe she goes to work. I don't know. Go think through that. I swear. When she comes back on TikTok, she will hip hop. She will hop from live to live to live until she finds a fight, and then
Yep.
she gets in a fight with that person in the live, or it's not even a fight. It's a misunderstanding because she went in intentionally to do that, and then she'll go on her own live and crash out, whatever you want to call it. And it's every fucking week. Oh my god. I'm
She's been
so
crashing all day, Bree. She's been crashing all day today.
screaming like a lunatic, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how it's scary. Like, I mean, you know what, man? I saw a whole different side of Key when she was just over here, and when she just like was like she's a new mom, loves like leave her alone, and she was like she was always talking about reading her Bible, and she would always be like, man, when y'all gonna be over this? Like she was like she was always promoting peace, man, and now just disgusting hate constantly. Like, I don't know, like I tried. I went out of my way like to be nice to her and everything. But I can't anymore. I just ignore her usually.
Hey, Maria.
Ugh. It just even it's just annoying. And the way that I've heard her disrespect people lately, especially Jan, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like Jan didn't do anything to you. She disrespects her like that for weeks, now. Like every time she's around her, and not just her, but like that's one person specifically. I feel like she's really. I just like I can't be around someone like that just rages over nothing.
Yep. She's talked so shitty to me, Jan, and Dreamer. And we're all older than she, like way older than her. Way older. For no reason. For no reason whatsoever.
Yep, but yeah,
Who
that's what
you?
it is. What?
I was making rice for the gumbo.
Key's
Oh, I'm jealous.
Oh, gotcha.
Gypsy
Okay,
happened to
gotcha.
go past a live, where she's being a bitch. She talks. She's been. Oh, I hate when she talks about the not even Gypsy's abuse, not even that the case itself, the actual like that because she talks about it so wrong and it's absolutely so disgusting, and I'm just like It just makes me sick. Um, I don't know. So I always thought Key somewhat had a mind of her own, and she doesn't. So when you once you realize that this person does not use their own, like truly, it's like who they're hate bonding with for the week. Once you realize that, those are they become your dead horses, if that makes sense. Like don't be dead horses. Like I have a bunch of dead horses that don't.
That top 10.
Yeah, it's
It
okay.
really is a dead horse.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I can finally get off of this
I
bed.
saw something today or yesterday. I was reading something about how high profile cases just attract a lot of
Crazy people.
crazy people. Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it. And you know what else? Okay, Gypsy. Okay, I never watched them on live today, but maybe we can clarify this. Okay, because I don't know why anybody would be mad about this. Maybe Jeanette, you watched it, but early when you were talking about this thing with Sebastian or whatever, Sebastian with your mom, did you say your mom 100% had a miscarriage, or you said that your mom told you that?
She told me that. So, like, growing up, my mother told
And I've heard this
me,
before.
and she told other, like, neighbors within the Habitat for Humanity community.
Right.
And also, she told one of my doctors this. Okay?
Right. So why are people raging? Jeanette, do you know exactly? I
I'm
mean,
not.
do you know exactly what they were saying? Because these people, I've been able to have good conversations with them, so that's why I'm wondering, like, what do you know the miscommunication maybe that there was misunderstanding, like, or they mad just because she said that? Like, I'm confused. Do you know Jeanette?
I don't even know what they're trying to get at. I really don't, because I wasn't in the live.
Oh, okay.
I was Gypsy was talking about when I woke up this morning. But
First of all, a child.
Dreamer, please,
Hold on, let
I'm
me just
talking.
finish.
I only heard part of the live that you guys were in. I caught the very end of it. I haven't even gone back to see what. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Okay, because from what I heard they were mad about something to do with that, but I'm like, that's
Something
a
about
truth.
Sebastian. Was that his name? Sebastian, and a Google search and a birth certificate, and Dee Dee had a miscarriage, and I don't even know
Well, how did this all come about? Because that is not at all like what we were even. There was no birth certificate mentioned. There was no. How did this even come about?
Yeah.
The thing about Habitat, Gypsy was a child. She could not apply for the Habitat as a child. Only Dee could have.
Yeah, no, it's nothing to do with Habitat. It's just the people in that community knew about this too. That's what she was saying. But like,
And
that's why,
Christy.
like,
And if you don't believe what I'm saying, Christy, she told me something I didn't even know, which was that my mom was showing pictures of Dylan when Dylan was little and telling people in the neighborhood, "Oh, this was my son that died."
Oh, that really happened?
People in the neighborhood, and then Christy told me that because Christy talked to the neighbors.
Is there any truth to it?
no, not obviously. I mean, it's not true because Dylan's her brother that's still alive.
Right. Dylan's my half brother. But my mom had a total hysterectomy after she had me.
Right, like you were pretty
And
young.
that's
Didn't you say
fact.
you were like 4 years old or something like that, or 4 or 5 when she had a total hysterectomy?
Something like that.
Yeah,
It was
you
due
were
to
pretty young.
ovarian cysts.
Listen, they make up stuff as they go.
Yeah, I was just wondering. The reason I asked is because I'm like, maybe they heard something wrong. Because like, I don't see how anybody can get like, I don't know. I was confused if they were. I don't know. I forgot where I read that message at or where I heard that at, but I heard like they were like screaming and shit. Like I'm like, I wonder what happened. Like, I was like, maybe I can clear. I mean, because I've been able to have good conversations with them. I'm like, maybe they misheard something. But I
Girl,
mean,
you have to talk to these people with such detail because they can't read between the lines. They can't just listen to what you're having to say. They always have to be like, well, this doesn't make sense. okay, they don't apply common sense. Like, put two and two together, read between the lines, apply that skill.
I know. I know. It's like pick every fucking thing apart. But I know. I know. It's like pick every fucking thing apart. But I'm surprised. Wait, I was waiting. When you said you were going to get glasses today, I'm like, oh Lord, just is getting glasses. Got the
Hey, we
glasses.
all know that I have bad eyes. That's
Right.
not a
I know that's
lie.
something that's
That's
always
facts.
Right? They'll call it something else. They'll watch, girl. I'm telling you. I got these people down pat.
right. And you know what I want to say, because a lot of people are spreading this and including too. I think a lot of people are confused about
Wait, we can't hear you, Brie. You're a little muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was like a lot of people. And I heard Key talking about this. I'm not gonna go deep into detail about it, but about the Wikipedia thing. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think that. Okay, I went on there and I looked so deep into that. The reason that the shit is locked down is because of It says like vandalism. There was so many people, like, beside just by like the name Gypsy Rose Blanchard, that were trying to add all these different things, and they have it like locked down right now because they see that so many people are in there trying to make edits, and they're like, now you have to send a request for an edit. Like, you can't. Usually you can just edit it, but now you have to actually put in a request. And a lot of people are trying to say that it's just like that is specifically if you are the Gypsy Rose Blanchard that went in there, like, you're the one that did that. But I went through each of the little comment sections, like, for the editing side of it. Like, you can go into that and see all the notes, and you can even see people kind of arguing. When I say arguing back and forth, I mean not like going off on each other, but they're debating back and forth. No, this should stay, blah blah blah. And I mean, some stuff they saying straight up, like they took out or whatever. But a lot of people are just misconstruing that and making it seem like something that it's not. And you really go there yourself and see all the edits that got taken down that were made by all kind of random people. And then you got My Little Pony. I don't know if y'all have it in My Little Pony. She is one of the people that's on TikTok that is a part of all that. And this person, Liberty Bell. I don't know where they're from, but I know that name, Liberty Bell. They're two people that, yeah. So I don't know. It's just so weird. These people spending their whole fucking day on Wikipedia, one of the most unreliable sources. They say, like, you can't use, like, in school and stuff, you can't even use Wikipedia as a Oh, that's you dreaming. You can't even use Wikipedia as a, like, source. I like how Kim goes about. Wait, here's about bad press. How does Kim go about bad press?
What?
No, somebody was saying I like how Kim goes about bad press. And I said, how does she? Kimmy.
Hey, Kimberly.
Liberty Bell is in PA. No, but I know that name, Liberty Bell. Like, I've seen it somewhere. Like, she's definitely, like, as an anti-gypsy person. Like, I've seen it. Like, I just don't know where. It could have been on Reddit. It could have been anywhere. I don't really go on Reddit much. Reddit is weird. Like, like, I will, like, get notifications. I'm so glad I finally turned it off. It'll be the most random ass shit. Like, like, they didn't have anything else to talk about or something. So they're like, did anybody happen to see this? And it's like something that was talked about like a year and a half ago. And we're like, yep, that's old. But yeah, they get weird up in there. That's why I don't like. I'm talking about like the biggest page. But Gypsy, you ended up getting a lot of Facebook pages taken down though, right?
Yes. So I am so freaking. That is what Operation Cockroach is about. If nobody knew, that's Operation Cockroach. So I was like, I'm like, I am gonna take down the majority of the fake Facebook profiles and Instagram profiles. And I was able to hit the 83,000 follower Keeping Up with Gypsy Rose account. And keep in mind that I messaged the individual like a year ago. And I told this individual, I don't know if it's a female, I don't know if it's a guy, I don't know. But they messaged me back and they're like, you know, um, I'm neutral. I'm not a supporter. I'm not against you. I just and I was like, well, a lot of people think that you're me. And you're leading on to that. You're not correcting them. You're not saying I'm a fan or I'm this or I'm not Gypsy. You're just letting them believe that it's me. And remember when that account had posted, and I usually don't like to talk about Ryan, but
Yes, I remember.
posted that thing that said I had to kiss a couple of frogs or you know, to get my prints or whatever.
Yes, and it caused the big
And
old, yeah.
Ryan called me when Ken and I were at dinner, being like, "What the fuck? Why are you saying this? That's so fucking mean of you." And I'm like, "Dude, it ain't me. Like, you're getting up all upset over a account that ain't mine. I didn't have any control over what this person says." And then he chilled out. But that individual that was running the account was like, "Well, I'm not taking down my profile. I'm going to continue to post." So fast forward a year later, I've got the Meta verification and I have Meta support, so I can talk to an agent on the phone, and they can do it internally, an investigation, and shut it down. So I ended up shutting the account down.
So
And there was another one that had 21,000 followers that would post as me on a daily. And I kept on putting in the comments, "This is a fake Gypsy profile," until they ended up like deleting my comments. But I was like, I'm gonna hit that one next, and I hit that one. And that one's gone. And so I've just been popping them left and right. So I'm like, if you're gonna try to impersonate me, you ain't gonna do it on a Meta platform.
Get it, Gypsy.
And I'm coming for more. Like, there's still a few little here and there that's, you know, 100 followers or whatever. I'm popping them too. I wanted to get the big ones though.
Get
And
him,
the reason is because it starts like it can cause a lot of problems. Like they
And then there was one point, there was a fake account of Ken and a fake account talking to each other. It was so funny.
Oh my god. No, there's only one account that has Ken's name that like I support. Even Ken is like, they were like, no, they've seen her post before. It's a girl named Bonnie. Like, she's really sweet. Like, I mean, I know not everybody might like. I mean, I think she's been respectful to me. She doesn't really I don't really see her that involved anymore. But it's just the only reason she's never changed. It's the free Ken Euchre account, and the only reason she's never changed her name is because that's what her name has been ever since she came on TikTok. And she's just like, this is just. And I mean, I've talked to Ken about this before, and I mean, it's not like he threw a fit about it. So I mean, I feel like everybody knows that's not Ken. Is the point?
Right. I mean, even I know. Like,
Right.
we all know that.
So I feel like, you see, like that's like the one account that I'm like, okay, like it doesn't bother me when I see it anymore. It's just like whatever, you know, like because they've literally had the same picture, same name forever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll change it one day. Who knows? It is what it is. But and they're respectful. They really are. And like I mean, at one point they weren't the nicest. But I mean, we've had a conversation since then, and since then they've always been very like they'll reach out and even like be just if something shitty happened, like they've been respectful. So, but I mean, when you see these fake ass accounts that are clearly trying to be like then answering like, hey, thank you. They're like somebody will be like.
That's
so
what's
fucking
so
weird.
annoying and I think that they do this because it's like this is the only way that they can get the likes, they can get the attention.
Yes, I'm
they
telling you,
wouldn't
we
get
live in a time where that's so
themselves.
important to people.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are just straight up nasty, though, and it's like those should be taken down anyway.
Right. So I did that happy dance. I was in such a good mood. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get him.
I mean, have you reached out to any that are just like actual supporters of yours and they went ahead and just took it down because you asked them to? Was it or no?
I don't think that there's been anybody that really did anything like that because I think they would have enough respect for me to see like, okay, she posts her own content. I'm not going to infringe on that. If I'm a fan account, I'm going to say I'm a fan account.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, I
They're
laughed.
clearly not
He's
really supporters. They just
and he was trying to sell your content, and all these haters were giving him money, and you got it straightened out. All that money they thought they were giving to him went to you.
from the hacker.
Oh, the hacker.
I
Remember
thought
me
that
and
was funny.
Amy when he set up the hacker? People said, like, where do I go about doing that?
Right. We're gonna just find somebody and be like, "Hey, try to sell my account for $100. You're nuts."
People were really messaging that person and wanting to buy it. It's so crazy.
Oh, I know. I went and read some of the DMs when I got my account back. It was crazy. It was
I will
crazy.
say this: I'm so glad because for some reason, and he had been working with somebody else or something. I don't know, but remember he tried putting out fake messages between I don't know. People were asking to release like you and Ryan's, you and Ken's, you and mine, and
Yeah,
like
there was like a
all
lot
of
of
those
fake
wasn't.
messages.
But remember, it was fake messages, and thank God that person. Remember, he accidentally didn't translate one of them into English, and that's how people found out that they were fake
Hmm.
because they were believing them at first, even though like
I will say kudos to pat on the back to Conspiracy because she was like one of the first ones to say, "Hey, I really think that these messages are fake." Like,
yeah. Sometimes she has integrity.
Bye, Miss 07. I'm sorry you can't join. There's no guests at this time.
She's actually one of the few people that was like respectful of Dan. Like when everybody else thought Dan was somebody else, and I knew who he was. She was
mugshot dance.
actually knew who he was, the real Dan, and she agreed with me that he had been private for this long. Like there was no reason to like put out his name. I don't know if she ever did. I really don't think she has. But I mean, maybe I don't know. But I mean, we know certain people they going to because.
Who was the first person to put out his real picture?
Who do you think?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot
The
of
one who thought that wasn't
obsessed
even
people.
right Dan. The one. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Someone I fought with over this. They fought with me. They told me that they said some shitty things about me, spread rumors about me, saying I was on rugs and everything because they were so mad because they can't ever be. This person can never be corrected.
I can think of 2 people.
She can never be corrected, and and once she found out she was wrong, she tried saying that she interviewed both Dan Gladwells, even though that's not true because one of them don't even live in Missouri. And she went to Missouri and interviewed all these men, even though she really didn't. Yeah, that woman.
Okay.
Excuse me. Jada, if you want up, I can drop down.
Who? I can add more boxes. Who was trying to come up?
Oh, I saw Jada. I was just telling her I can drop down if she wants to come up.
Wait, who? Who's trying to come up? Oh.
Jada.
Oh, Sheena's here.
Or
No,
Shayna.
yeah, I mean, you can come go down. I can add another box, Dreamer. It doesn't matter. I can add another box. Add another box. There we go.
I'm just saying I can drop down.
Sheena ain't coming up here. I'm just kidding. I don't even see her requesting.
Well, no, I didn't say she's requesting, but I saw her come in there and she said like, hey, I was just telling her if she wanted to come up.
Sheena, are you in here for real though? Because I want to show you your picture finally. Tammy Hutt, I seen you in here being rude the other day. You trying to come up? You got a question or something? Ask in the comments.
Thanks in the comments.
Sheena Marie. Sheena, where are you at? I want to show you your picture.
Anybody text her?
Yeah.
I'm gonna text her.
Oh.
Rachel, it's alive.
You were talking to me. I was like, what?
Wait, somebody's trying to. Well, that could have been anybody. No, 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 no.
Text her.
No, 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 no. I know. I'm so sorry, y'all. The reason we can't let anybody else up that unless we know them is just because Unfortunately, some people are just rude to me, and we're just not gonna be allowing that up in her. Up in her, up in her. Are we debating something or just hanging out? We're just hanging out. Why, you want to debate, Rachel? A civil one, of course.
Ew.
No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna, obviously not gonna debate right now. But I will. I wish Becca Scoops would debate me, but she won't. And I wonder why.
Where you at, Scoops?
Where you at, Scoopity
We've been
Doopity?
waiting.
I've been waiting. That should tell you something.
Did that bitch let my son off the leash yet?
Oh no. No, he's
Oh my god, we gotta save him, y'all.
Oh no. I can't wait till you hear this song. I'm not gonna sing it with all these people in here. But I can't wait till y'all hear the song I wrote for him. It's to God Bless the Broken Road. Sheena. Okay, Sheena, you never got to see the picture I made for you. Where have you been? Jesus Christ, like you were here yesterday and I never saw you again.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
That goes rogue.
I've been in Delusionalville and I decided to check out of that for a little while.
Look, Sheena.
Welcome back, welcome back.
Sheena, look at the picture. Miss Popular.
I fucking love it. I love
says,
it.
look at your
It's
magenta.
perfectly me.
Your magenta legs. Your stockings.
I love the magenta legs.
So it says, look, on one side it says, yes, I'll be beating Nicole on the dance floor for the 6th year in a row. And then on the other side it says, wait, Scott, like, just put it down. But on the other side it says, half off with the app. You're welcome. I love you, bitch. You're slushy. And then the scooter says, horses beware. And then there's a younger version too.
Don't forget the magenta.
Oh, I know. I told her that. That was the first thing I mentioned. Wait, and you look at Dreamer. So I'm gonna show you all 3 of them. So I made this one. Well, first this one, and I didn't like that one. So I made this one, and this one I was like, all right. And then I made this one, but Dreamer likes this one. This one, y'all ready? This one is a badass. Like, man, this one I'm scared of.
I like that one too.
Me
I
too.
like that one the best.
Me fucking too. And at first I was like, what the hell? Like, because the other ones were all glamorous. And I was like, once it was completed, though, I was like, oh my God, I fucking love this one. I feel like, okay, this is how I imagine her. You know when Dreamer's on the panel and she's like, I'll be back and she's going to make a video? This is what I imagine her, like, dropping the panel and, like, this is what I imagine, like, her walk to her video. She's like, I'm coming, bitch.
That's her have a seat face right there.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shane, I saw your video. Yeah, sit down.
What video?
Which one?
Kermit Fletcher, I call him Toothless.
Wait, what you call him?
Oh my God, Lovely had me dying. Lovely killed me with that comment.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Well,
you
there's no
got
more
the
boxes.
video. The comment on it. Where's Dreamer? I says, I got it. I took a picture of it, and then I called him out on it.
Wait, what are y'all talking about?
Oh, comment just put up a video that describing the way the baby would be unalive.
Oh, God.
No, this person asked me in one of my comments, they were like, hey, did you really unalive your landlady with a lead pipe, big dog? And Lovely said, why don't you talk to Karma Collector about the pipe hanging out of his mouth?
Oh, my God. She said that in the comments?
Yes, starting all this
savage.
trouble with.
Lovely like Belinda. They both savage. Oh, wait. You know, who is that back? I'm like, I love y'all, but somebody has, like, static noise. Let me see if that's you, Dreamer. Is that you, Gypsy? Let me see.
Let me mute. Let me check.
It is. Jesus. Gypsy. No, I'm just kidding. No, but if you need to talk, you can unmute it, of course. You know, did you ever back out when you was in the live ever? You're fine. It's not horrible. I think 3 people staticky, so as long as one by person's muted. Hold on. Watch, you unmute and I'm gonna mute and I'm gonna see if it makes a difference. Wait, I'm about.
Well, then that doesn't make sense.
Yep, and no, it does. It's so weird. Like, so it just does
Right,
that.
so
So
I'll
like,
mute until I have something to say.
right. So, and when you have something to say, I'll mute. Okay. That's
Okay.
how. Yeah, we can't hear it down here. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. They can't hear, so that's what really matters to me. So, because it's not that bad. So, as long as the chat doesn't hear it, y'all matter the most. No rain. But so you don't have to go on mute anymore if you don't want to. Scott, the thing's beeping. But so Sheena, what have you been doing for the last day and a half? That's what you've been doing?
I was here last night till kind of late. But no, today it's just been loads of fun in the TikTok streets.
Well, guess what?
Lots of fun.
No, we had fun. You should have stayed. Sheena, last night we laughed so much on this fucking live. Like, when Gypsy came in, oh my god, I could not stop laughing for like, and all these people's coming in here, they have no fucking clue what I'm talking about, and when I had the freaking case of the fucking, I wouldn't even say the giggles, I was wheezing for like, probably like 10 minutes on y'all, like 10, like, I could not stop, and I'm just like, oh my god, you have to watch the replay. We had a good time last night.
We was laughing hard.
I probably have the replay.
Yeah, you can probably get it. Like, Milfy came up, Aubrey. We have a whole story of Grub. Have you met Grub? Sheena hasn't met Grub. Sheena's probably still in the TikTok streets right now.
Probably.
She can help herself.
Do you ever just like wonder how so much delusion exists in the world? Like, I was just sitting there thinking that, and I just saw you live.
Let me tell y'all, Sheena, the only people other than us that she talks to are like delusional, psychotic people. I don't know why.
They seek me out. I don't seek them out. They seek me out.
I think you enjoy it like Dreamer enjoys Boom.
They wouldn't seek you out if you just block them.
Yeah, but you know what? I always say they'll come back on a backup.
Yeah, but she has fun.
It's pointless to block people.
They seriously do. Karma Collective 4 has me blocked. He don't have you blocked, and he's sending you stuff.
Sheena and Dreamer are like spirit, like they're spirit peoples of each other. Like they be going like Sheena. I mean, Dreamer just now. She's like, exactly. They'll just come back. Y'all both know how it is. You know what? You know why? That would probably happen to me too. But I rarely check. I'll go like a whole 2 weeks, 3 weeks without looking at like those filtered messages, which is where all the bad shit is. And I'm like, oh look, this psycho is in my messages. You know, Simone recently was in my comments, and she commented like on so many of my comments. It was like just crazy shit. I didn't even finish reading them all.
She's trying to use you to get to me. I know her games. I know her games at this point. Fucking
Sheena, do you think she's watching now?
I know she's watching now. I know it. I fucking love you, bitch. Simone, I love you. I know she's watching. I can feel it when she's watching.
How about
They're all
Terry?
watching. As soon as Bree gets off live, this live will be all over the internet.
So, oh, you're talking about because of Simone? Yeah, Simone. I mean, you already know. I mean, Audrey still streaming us?
I don't know. I can't go check because I'm here.
Why do you say Audrey?
Oh, because she corrected me one time when I said Audrey. She said it's Audrey. I was like, oh,
Okay.
and so now it's I have to say it correctly, Gypsy. That's the respectful thing to do. So Audrey. I don't know how I said it wrong, and now I'll probably still say it wrong. I probably am like a spaz with it,
It's
but
your
no,
accent. You
I'll,
say Audrey because your
no,
accent.
I say Audrey, like
She
Audrey,
said
but I
it's
think
Audrey.
Audrey. I was like, what? Excuse me. And then she tried saying that I said Fancy Michelli's name wrong. She was like, it's Fancy Michelli. I'm like, well, you need to tell her that because she chose the name and she doesn't say it like that. How you gonna correct someone on their own stage name? Like, how you gonna tell Fancy her name's wrong? I don't even like Fancy, but she literally argued with me about that. It's Michelli. I'm like, it's not though. Like you, just because she supposed, I told her that somebody told me it's pronounced either way. Scott, that's loud. That it's pronounced either way, and she was like, no, it's not. And she's like the expert of all things, so she's right. But the thing is that no matter how it's supposed to be pronounced, Fancy is the one who chose that name, which means she can say that name however the hell she wants to. So why would I say it the way that Audrey wants me to say it when it's not her stage name? It's Fancy's. So yeah, it's Michelli. And
And
it
didn't she
reminds
make a whole video correcting you on
Yes,
Michelli?
yes, and it reminds me of my cafeteria lady. Like how she used to say, want chili, Machelli. That's how she said chili, and so now I'll always remember how to say it now. Audrey, I'll remember my cafeteria lady. Want chili. So please correct me if I'm wrong again, Audrey. Oh, you know what I was able to do the other day, Gypsy? Audrey came in here and was like, Gypsy did have myopathy. And I'm like, no, she didn't. And like, I was able to show her, and there was another, I don't like to call them haters all the time, but like, there was a person who is anti-Gypsy in here that literally was like, Audrey, like, you got this one wrong. I was like, sucker. She still doesn't want to think it, but yeah, I was able to, prove her wrong because she didn't read it right. That's why people shouldn't be reading your medical records if they're not medical professionals. And I know that I'm not either, but I use assistants to be able to read it right. But it has it has preoperative diagnosis, post-operative diagnosis, but then it has the pathologist diagnosis, which is the final diagnosis. And she's going off of the post-diagnosis, which, yes, if there was no other thing on the paper, like from, say, in this case, a pathologist, then yeah, I guess you would go by that. But there is. And we got a nurse on the panel right now. Evelyn can tell you the pathologist diagnosis is the final diagnosis, and literally it says you didn't have myopathy. But here she is like, yes, she did. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm sorry that you're wrong, and she does not like to be wrong at all. And that's how our beef started in the first place. I was so respectful when I corrected her on something, and she made a video and she's like, Brie, blah blah blah. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm like, okay, girl, and ever since then, she's been obsessed with me. I think she might be obsessed with me just as much as you, Gypsy. So you feel lucky, okay? Seriously. Oh my God. And all I did was I nicely corrected her on something. I just said, oh yeah, because she was saying that I think she was saying that it was a part of your plea deal to testify for Nick, and it wasn't. And that's all I did. I was like, no, it was actually and I showed the proof, and she was like, okay, she was so fucking she was just mad about it. She was salty about it, and ever since then, I'm like, damn, I should have just let her think that, because that girl, whew, she is crazy, really crazy. But do what you do, but watch my shoes. Do what you do, but watch my shoes.
Gypsy, I have a question while you're here.
Axe it, Sheena.
Accent.
I'm fixing to ax it. I'm gonna ask you this.
Right.
Can you please explain why you're coming out with a second edition of your book? Not a whole new book.
Oh God.
Not a whole new book. Stop it, Key. Not a whole new book. It's a second edition, correct?
Correct. It is a reprint.
Okay, I didn't say anything about this. You told me not to let anybody know. So the place announced it.
It's not a completely new, different, separate book. It is a reprint. It's a second edition.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I'm gonna get it.
did it come out? Did that second one come out? Yeah, like is anybody able to see it?
What, the reprint?
Yeah.
No, I can't. I can't disclose when it comes out. I can't
Okay,
disclose
then.
anything about it because that is the publisher's job, which I know when they're going to start rolling out the promotion for it, but I'm not at liberty to say.
Okay, here's a question.
Right.
Because Becca Scoops pointed this out. There's something
Then they did something else.
I don't know which ones. Wait, hold on. I don't know which one's which. I'm gonna mute you. I think it's just background noise. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know which is which. I don't know if it's the audio or the. Wait, hold on, Dreamer. I don't know if it's the audio or the actual book, but I don't know. As Becca Scoops was saying, like there's a part of the book that you don't read in the audio or vice versa.
And that is a strong possibility because when I was, and they always use this clip of the show, and it's very misleading. There's this clip in the show where it's after I was in the studio and recorded the audio version.
Right.
That I'm opening the book, and that's when I had got like the 200 copies of my book to sign. And I said, I have read this book like 50,000 times or something like that. Something along those lines. I don't remember what it was verbatim. And then they show, oh, well, I'm explaining, well, I didn't read my book thoroughly enough when going through the edits. Okay, both are true. But the thing is I did not proofread everything in the book before I went into the studio. So when I went into the studio, I went in blindly. So I had to record even the errors that are in the book that needed correcting. I had to say verbatim. And my literary agent and publisher said, we will note this, and when we go for a reprint, we will correct all of this in the reprint. But right now, it is already gone to print, and we cannot make any more edits to it. So I had to verbatim, even the incorrect information, say while recording it.
And you know what? I want to say this, and I wish if people weren't mass reporting my accounts at the time, because we knew this before the book was, before like you was even really, the books were going out, you knew this already. You didn't, like a lot of people are thinking you're like, people are getting the books and like you're listening to what people are saying about
No,
it.
you were the first person I told.
You was the first person. I was the first person you
Yes.
told, and I went out and I even talked about it publicly, and I even said the things that were wrong. And of course, that video is gone now, and that footage is gone now. But because it's some of the edits is like very simple. Like the football teams are wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Saints. It was the Bengals and the Chiefs games that we had plans to go to. Well, in the book it says the Bengals and the Saints, and I'm like, that's incorrect. Like,
so some errors are that minor. Like,
yeah, very minor.
Like, and I talked about this. Like, I remember you were actually still out there reading when we talked about this. And I was like, I knew right then and there, I was like, I really want to talk about this on live because I know that if you don't talk about this before the book comes out, people are going to do what they're doing now. And of course, you get newcomers every freaking day. So the people that weren't around since I've been around, since last January, January of 2000, well, really December 2023, but say January 2024, all these people that came in December or this year, actually, people that are coming in 2 months ago, don't know that all this shit that they think you changed. I talked about that literally before your book even hit the shelves. I literally said what the mistakes were.
I called Bree. I was like, Bree, I just came back from the studio. There's so many corrections that I need to make in this book. And it's already going to print, and there's nothing I can do about it right now. It just has to get,
printed.
It has to be rolled out, and there's nothing I can do to change it until the reprint. And I'm going to be called a liar. I'm going to be called, a liar for inconsistencies, even though I recognize the inconsistencies when reading the book. that I had co-authors help me to make.
Yes.
So it's
And
not like
like,
I'm writing it myself and then I'm like, oh, well, shoot, this is a lie and da 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 da. No, I had co-authors.
the fact that one of the errors is a football team's name
Exactly. Like,
should
come
show
on.
people. Like,
Come on. Yeah.
so that, yeah, Becca Skippy, I remember I was watching. Oh,
The book.
wait, are you talking now?
Notice
Okay, go ahead. Go
it seemed
ahead,
like the
Dreamer.
audio book wasn't as long.
No, the audio would be more. There would be more. No, there would be more in the audio than the book. Wait, no, it's gonna be the same. No, okay. So she's saying that like whole parts. Did you? Oh, you recorded your audio twice.
I recorded the audio once over a period of, I mean, it took me a
Right.
good
Well,
7
yeah, I'm saying
days.
like, did you do the corrections with the audio or no?
No, no. So, with the reprint,
Yeah, I got it.
I haven't been told that I have to go back into the studio again. So I think because the thing is, I did say I had 2 versions. So I did one where I said what was printed and like what was going to go to print, and then for the corrected version, I just kind of said it in a different way while in studio. So I don't think I have to go in studio again. They could probably just use the
Okay.
2 versions
So I wonder what
that I
she's
recorded.
talking about then, because like the corrected book never came out yet though, right?
Correct.
Right. So I wonder how back, because I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't really watch one of the most recent ones. Like, someone that told me to watch it because it's actually ridiculous, and it is. So I fucking watched it, and she talks about like this point, like I don't know if it's the audio or the book, but one of them, like, it's in there, one of them it's not. But that doesn't make sense if you had to read it verbatim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to read it verbatim, and
I'm gonna have to go watch that again then.
yeah, see, let me know, because I mean,
Yeah, because that could be her easily. I mean, I've seen her straight up lie before, many of times, and because she even said it was weird. She said, something about a rewrite. Like, she was talking about how your books, like, you're doing another book, and it almost sounded like she like had the inside scoop and knew exactly what wasn't going to be in, and there's no way. So like, I'm gonna have to go watch it. So don't quote me on this, anybody, but I know for sure she does say that there's something in your book that's not in the audio or vice versa, and that's impossible if you had to read it verbatim.
exactly. So I don't know what she would be talking about. I have a second chance at making sure I proofread it this time. I have to get all the edits and all the proofreading done by November 11th. So I'm in the process of doing that right now. So I'm going through it with a fine tooth comb. I did take out something that I felt that my co-author kind of went a little too graphic on, that never
Co-author,
said.
y'all, not co-defendant, co-author, okay?
Co-author, Michelle Matrashani. There was a line, and I understand that the line was supposed to be impactful and give real like depth and meaning to it, but I felt like it came off too graphic and too abrasive, and so I asked that be removed, and so that little line will be gone. I added a few things like the Barbie thing. So when people are like, yeah, you said that your mom didn't let you play with Barbies, but then show a picture of me holding a Barbie. Okay, well, there's more detail to that. So my mom didn't let me play with Barbies when I was, 4 and 5 and 6, but then let me start playing with Barbies when I was 10, 11, 12, because at 10, 11, 12, that's when girls typically start getting into makeup. They start getting into boys, the age progression of maturity continues. So that was just something for my mom to kind of like, in a sense, stunt my growth. Well,
That literally
don't play
makes
with
so much
makeup.
sense.
Don't be interested in boys, but here's a Barbie doll. Does that make sense?
No, it makes absolute sense, and I just wish people would listen to you, Gypsy. And you know what? I know that, like, I'm so glad that you're in a place in your life where you're just like, I'm fine, but like, when you get into these discussions and you say things like that make so much sense, I don't even think you realize how impactful that could be to other like other people out there, because like I never even went through that. And when you just said that, like before you even said the reasoning, it's like I knew exactly like why she would do that. Like, just don't ever forget your voice matters. I'm telling you, because when you come up here and you actually speak and you speak on your story, like people don't, if people don't want to believe you, it's because they don't want to believe you. But it, like what I always have said, because they're like, oh, Gypsy could lie to you. No, the talks that we've had, like everything that you tell me is logical. It's logical and it makes sense with everything that I've researched, and it matches up. And there's no, like that right there, like the Barbie thing, like that makes so much sense. Like you're not just gonna pull that out of your ass. That's actually, it psychologically makes sense. And so if anybody can't understand that or get it, then they're just not gonna get it then. Because before you even said like the reasoning behind that, like it was like, wow, like yeah, that makes total sense. So
I mean, too, when I was like 6 years
that's
old,
wild.
my mom was like, why aren't you, it doesn't
That's
seem like you're
crazy.
interested in Barney or Sesame Street anymore. You used to love that. Let me get you a, a a doll or we used to call them Weebles, but you remember the Fisher Price little people?
Yeah,
They were like little fat, short figurines.
it's just so
And
crazy.
she's like, well, why don't you play with that? And so it's just kind of like I was growing and maturing, and you lose interest in things. You stop being interested in Sesame Street, and then you go on to watching Disney princesses, and you just mature. And so stunting the things that she wanted me to like is what happened with the Barbie. So that's why I'm like, details matter for some things, and then details really don't matter in the big picture for other things. So that's why I wanted to specifically like add that. Like, yeah, I wasn't allowed at this age, but I was allowed at this age, and put context to it.
Yeah, it's just nobody, like you never had to tell your story. And people will say like, well, we didn't want to hear it. Yes, you did, because I promise you, the people that are not for you bought. There was just as many people who bought that book who don't support you than there was that do support you. Okay, so let's just, they were, some of them just got it or listened to it somewhere else, but a lot of them bought it. And like that's the sad part, is because especially when you have so many years, like you like didn't get out until you were almost 24. There's so many years, so many details. Think about your own life without all of that. Imagine the details like in someone like someone like you. And to think that one book is going to tell your whole life story, like every single detail, there's no way. There's no way. And it would be hard for just a typical person that lived a normal life to do that, much less someone that there's so many layers to it. And like what your mom might allowed at one time, she could like whereas my mom would let me play Barbies from 4 till however old, whenever I stopped. There was no moment that she said no or yes. I mean no at any age, like. So like it completely changes. It adds another layer because it makes sense psychologically, like why she would do that. And just like making you play with those whatever you just said, Weebles or whatever, like at what,
Little
when you're like 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like I probably got one like something like that for Christmas when I was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I just wish people would. But yeah, you there's only so much you can tell in one book. And I wish how when you sent me the rough draft, and I just wish sometimes that I would have read all the way through so I could have helped you, like if you missed anything, like, and some things I wouldn't have known, but some things I would have. And like, because I hate that for you, because I know that people they just rip you apart and it makes sense that could happen. You had 2 other co-authors, like they never lived your life, you did, and they're just doing the best they can with what you tell them. And yeah, but
and it's like they work on transcripts, they work on conversations, but there is margin for error whenever we're not talking on a daily basis like friends. We have a few business calls, and if something is not explained to the 10th powered square, there is margin for error.
I want to ask you something, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way towards the people that helped write this book. Do you ever feel like, in a way, like your book was Like, I know, like, maybe you always wanted to write a book, and tell your story, like, for you, but do you ever feel like it was rushed to do it when it happened? And do you think that if you would have, like, come out and, like, just lived, like, and then told it?
Yes, I 100% feel that way because what I'm trying to explain to people, and I explain that kind of like in the post that I put where, if people invalidate me, this is where I'm coming from, is that I completely 100% agree that I should have came out, lived a private life, worked on myself, worked on my trauma, and then after I have been through the work, completed the work, healed, and am able to process the memories and also have enough time to where I could talk to relatives, talk to my family, talk to my mom's friends, talk to people that knew her, talk to people that knew us, get a gauge of what their perspective and their beliefs were. Because I feel like my story, there's his side, her side, and the truth, or her side, and the truth, right? Where I feel like my story, I know my perspective. I only know my perspective. I don't know my mother's perspective. I don't know Nick's perspective. I don't know my aunts, uncles, cousins' perspective. So the things that I account is my memory and my memory alone. Now, whether my memory is the truth, I don't know because I have been told conflicting things. For example, I have no memory of going to kindergarten at all. I don't remember that. I remember going to a thing called Lads and Lassies, which was a daycare center for one day. Okay. And I remember going to vacation Bible school where my mom volunteered as like one of the helpers. Okay. Well, my co-authors spoke to one of my aunts on my mom's side. And by their account, I went to kindergarten. So my co-authors then incorporated this information into my book. Okay, so that detail did not come from me. It came from my aunt. And like I said, that is another thing that will be fixed because this is not going off of my memoir. It's supposed to be my memory and my memory alone, not the memories of other people. So, and there is that disclaimer in the book that says, this is my memory. It is not, it is only my perception and only my memory. So if something is incorrect, I could very well be incorrect. Now, the general trauma and abuse, the board, true. But little details like kindergarten, I don't know because I was far too young to remember that. So
Whether you had birthday candles, stupid shit like that.
Yeah, birthday candles. Like, haven't they given to think that the birthday parties that I had, I feel like was for other people. If they had candles on the birthday cake, it wasn't because my mom said, hey, you are this old. It was because, hey, we're having a party where a lot of people are going to be invited. And, at an age, that stopped. So, like, I really didn't have numbers on my candles after, like, 13. So, if I had numbers on my candles when I was little, which I did, changing the birth years, because at that time, you don't need to change the birth years on a 9-year-old's, age.
Right.
It's only when you get in your teen years that she was knocking back a couple years.
Well, the thing is, they expect, by that age, you should just always just remember at that point. And I think what people seem
And
to
then,
understand is the confusion. Like,
mom would tell me, "Oh, the car wreck that we were in 2001. The car wreck messed her up pretty bad. It ruined her leg. But she would tell me that she has memory loss from that car accident and guilt trip me and be like, oh, you think I'm crazy, or I understand that you might think this way of me, but I know this is the year you were born." Like, there's manipulation beyond measure.
and she did tell some doctors that too, like that she would tell some doctors that, but then she would tell some doctors that you were born like you were born paralyzed. And she even told one doctor that you were quadriplegic, which I don't know how a doctor wouldn't be able to look at you and see you weren't. It's
Quadriplegic with like all limbs
all
paralyzed.
limbs, yes. Like
What
literally,
the heck?
it's like the right there where I was standing. It's the first page on the top. It says that it literally says quadriplegic, and then like 4 months later, I want to say at the same exact hospital, it says paraplegic. Like talk about fell through the cracks. Like it's insane. It really is, and
And they're like, why don't you sue the doctors? Well, the thing is like
statute of limitations.
I didn't even think about statute of limitations. It was a big deal to me when I was in prison. And I've always just been so damn busy. Like in prison, I was in school. I was trying to get my GED. I did, I had a few phone calls with Christy where she and dad went looking for an attorney. Christy told me that she didn't get a phone call back from any of the attorneys that she had reached out to. And then later, Christy would do interviews and she said, I reached out to attorneys. They said they wouldn't touch the case. Now, I believe Christy. Was I there to confirm that information? No, I believe Christy.
Gypsy,
But
oh, well, you go ahead and finish it. I'll tell you also.
but that's just, that's what I was told. And then after that, I kind of just was like, you know what? It's not going to give me my salivary glands back. It's not going to give me those years back. So what gain do I have? Most of the doctors are too old and retired now to even sue. What does it matter? Like, I have a kid now. I have a life now. I'm 34 years old. I do it to anybody else. What's the point in suing them now?
Well, you could.
You know, there's so many doctors
I looked.
anyways.
Okay.
Statute of limitations too that apply.
Yeah, that's what I was about to explain. Like, I looked. Okay, because people used to ask this all the time, and it was annoying because it was always. And it's like, okay, even if let's just say like that doesn't give you the right to invalidate her abuse though. But I researched so deep into this subject and looked up the Missouri laws, the Louisiana, and first of all, most of your surgeries, yes, you had some in Missouri, but a lot of them were in Louisiana, and Louisiana has the shittiest statute of limitation laws. Like from the moment that you because they have this thing where you say if you don't realize that the surgery wasn't needed or like whatever it may be, there's things in almost every single state where it goes from the moment that you find out, but there's only a certain amount of years to say it might be 5 in Louisiana, like is like 1 or 2, like you have 1 or 2 years. You had maybe 1 year for Louisiana. Anything that happened in Louisiana, you maybe had maybe 1 year. Like for some, you would never be able to touch it. It was even past that. Whereas in Missouri, there was you might have been able to end like within 2.5 years, but you have to think you was preparing for maybe going to trial. You had to deal with that first. Then so and when I was researching this, what Christy's saying, I 100% believe because everything that I researched on it, everywhere that I looked, it said that it would be very hard for a lawyer to fight this, and this is why. Because when it comes to Munchausen by proxy, yes, some things are fabricated, some things are exaggerated, but also some things are induced. So if there were things that your mother induced on you, which means that it made it necessary, it doesn't mean that it wasn't like it was abuse that caused it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the doctor wouldn't be at fault for that if your mother induced something on you. So some of those cases, it's really hard to even win with Munchausen by proxy because sometimes like the mother or the caretaker is doing something that then makes the surgery necessary. And that's what I always try to explain to people. This surgery right here, like say this one, it may have been necessary, but A, B, C, and D, like it would have never been necessary had you been given the correct, that you could always eat. That you've never been scared of food, even though your mom says that. You have never, and just like you had your feeding tube years before you ever took a swallow. I just recently learned this, and I didn't even know this. 7 years later, you got a feeding tube, and it wasn't until almost 7 years later that you took a swallow study. Why would that not be done first? That should be done first. That wasn't done until 7 years later, and that's when your mom was trying to get other things done, like with your throat and stuff like that. And I was just like, that, it blew my mind that a swallow study test was never done before your feeding tube was put in, especially for the fact that it was supposed to be feeding difficulties. So there are things that a doctor, I'm like, you'll never win because it's the doctor. You have to prove that the doctor was at fault. And if you can't prove that, so I absolutely do believe that Christy and them probably looked and it was probably because of the statute of limitations and because of how hard it is to fight those cases, like with the doctors. I think that they did get turned down. Like, I don't know why people was like, they would pick that up in a heartbeat. Y'all aren't understanding
There's laws in place, and you have to go by with the laws.
Yep.
I mean,
You have to
Louisiana
prove
has some
it.
pretty shitty laws. I mean, just look at the whole thing with the paternity stuff and my divorce. Like, they have some shitty laws.
Well, you know what, Bree? You're absolutely right about the swallowing test. When my sister had Lou Gehrig's disease, I did the feeding tube put in. They first checked swallowing. They first checked to see if you
Yeah.
even swallow.
I was blown away though. Like, this was a few weeks ago that I had even realized. Like, I put your whole document into I'm telling you, if you ever are interested, I know you put your box away, but if you're ever interested, Gypsy, what you should do is scan in all your documents on a computer, and that way you can understand it. You put it through an AI system, and I know it's not perfect, but it can break it down where you understand things that you might not understand because you're not a medical professional. And had I not done that, I would have never even realized that you didn't even get a swallow study until almost 6-7 years after you had your feeding tube, which is insane considering the reason was supposedly for difficulty eating. That should have been a test that was done before you even got that feeding tube. And I like researched this really, really deep. Like, and so that it's true. I'm not saying they would never put it in, but the fact that she was 7 years old, and it is so rare to be diagnosed with failure to thrive at 7 years old. That usually happens between the ages of newborn and 2 years old.
Correct.
And if you were to get diagnosed at 7, this is the interesting part, y'all. If you were to get diagnosed at 7, you know why? What would cause something like that? Something that's like, let's say, neuromuscular, which is what? Something your mother tried to prove that you had, and what in the end did you not have? Anything neuromuscular. If that's not strategic, like a strategic thing that your mom did, and I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind if you put your records to it, like, so you can understand it. One day, if you just like want to be like, I want to understand. I'm telling you, Gypsy, you should do this for yourself, because there was things that I learned. This one night I was doing this, I was sitting here for like 4 hours, and it like blew my mind. It like connected so many dots, because that's the reason. Like, if you were to be diagnosed with failure to thrive at 7 years old, it's not something that is like the same for a 1 and 2 year old. It's usually would be caused by something like your muscles, not like it's neuromuscular and or neurological, and that's what your mother was trying to say you had problems with, and which was then never on you. Like, you will start to see the blueprint of like your entire life come before your eyes, and one day, if that's what you want to do, that you should do that, because I think it'll help you like make sense of some things, and
You know what I need to? I need to get in touch with Titania. Because Titania, she told me whenever the last time I talked to her, when we kind of squashed the drama, she told me that she put every medical record in a file in order.
Yeah.
And she has it for me. And so, because it's like I have medical records here that I can go look at, but they are all like out of order, different dates, all kinds of
she has it all in order from beginning to end. She made that book for you, she said. So
I need to get it from her, and then I can start to like go through it and understand.
like, even
because
for
like
yourself, not for
exactly, and
yourself.
that's what going back to what I was saying was when the question of do I wish that I had wrote the book after I healed. And I said yes, is because like I have not sat down and looked at the medical records. I've looked at some, but I haven't looked at all.
You know why I asked you that? I had been feeling it, like I felt like for so long I couldn't say, and not because I've never signed anything where I can't say anything, but out of respect for you and your relationships with Lifetime and with Melissa Moore and with the other co-writer and with Mike, even Mike, with everybody, like, this is my opinion, doesn't mean it's Gypsy's. I have felt like, I know that these people, especially for being around you, I know they care about you, but I feel like this, like, what has happened is a product of the media, in my opinion. And I don't mean that additional, I don't mean that Melissa Moore is a horrible person, or anybody that has like led your way through this. And I'm not putting all the blame on them. Like, I know people like Gypsy blames everybody. Like, of course you have to make your own choices too, but you also came out into the world, never being in the world by yourself before. And like, I really believe that the whole like downfall of the whole tearing apart of your story, it, in my opinion, it is due to media hungry people. And I don't mean that the people that you directly were with, but they have to answer to people too. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to say it in a respectful way, but like,
No,
and it's
you're
really,
doing perfect.
it's really
Hard.
sad, but they all have to answer to someone too, you know? And like, at the end of the day, even if they care about you, they also have a job. And, you know, you're just getting out. It's big. Like, this is when it's popping. This is when everybody, so like, they're going to, of course, they're going to rush you and they're going to want you to get this out, get this out. And it's like, I wish people could see it that way, because it's not about blaming other people. It's just life, unfortunately. This is the way the media works. Your story was a huge story. You came out and millions of people followed you so fast. You think a network's going to be like, hey, you go and heal and come back in a couple of years.
Yeah, no,
No,
that's not a thing. They
it's
rush.
really sad. It's really sad because, like, if they would take, like, if you take yourself out of that, like, those people out of that, like, they probably would have been like, this is probably not good. This probably wouldn't be best for you, but they can't think that way because it's their job to not think that way. And it's really
It's their
sad.
job to get the story and make the best show possible. And I completely see what you're saying, and that's what I'm trying to say too, is that like,
Yep.
instead of interviewing me right when I'm processing what is a lie and what is the truth, it's like I could say, okay, in one interview, okay, this is what I believe at this point in time. Say it's 2017, and I'm being interviewed by Dr. Phil, and he asked me a question. I'm going to answer on what I believe to be true. Now, if I find out 3 years later, oh, this didn't go down like I believed, then I'm going to change and correct and say, okay, this is what happened. Even though I'm answering the same question, it'll be different because I've learned new information that made me correct it. That is different. So it would have been nice if I could have went, healed, processed all the information, learn what was fact, learn what was false, learn what was, manipulation versus factual information, and then write a book, and then do interviews, then share my story as a healed woman.
You know what? I think this is something, like, I'm not saying like we're gonna do that, but I'm just saying, I'm speaking this out into the universe. You know what? I really believe, and I'm not saying it's ever going to change, because unfortunately society is society, unless you have hope that it could change. This is a societal issue. It really is. If we weren't so hungry for, like, we want to hear this story and we want to do that, and in the media too, not just the media, but the public, all of us, like, as a whole, if we, like, people, like, and I don't care if y'all think that I'm just, like, making this excuses for Gypsy. This is how I feel. If you don't agree with me, you don't have to, but Gypsy is a victim to society. She really is. And y'all don't have to agree with me. This isn't me trying to place blame, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I'm sorry, not sorry, but if you think about it, y'all, like, really think about this, shouldn't we be, like, hearing Gypsy talk about this, and me I've been wanting to ask that question, because deep down in my heart, I've always felt that way. But of course, like, I'm going to support you regardless. And I know that people have a job, and I felt like you was always rushed, but, like, seeing you and, like, in this live talking about this, it should open up somebody's heart who's listening to want to, like, this should be something that as a society, people come together to try to change, like, to protect victims in their stories. Like, let a victim heal a little bit before we throw them out into the media to, like, eat them up. And I think that's something that society really needs to, like reflect on. And sadly, it might not ever happen, but I think if more people thought that way, maybe it could, because I think there's probably many more examples that we can think of where that's happened to people. And it's really, really sad, because what it does is, it not only does it steal from you, not only does it take from your story, but it also, because of all the hate you get, and because nobody, like, wants to believe you and listen to you, it also, like, hinders other opportunities for other victims to be reached out to, and for Munchausen by proxy, for example, to be spoken about more. And if they're going to constantly like, this isn't true, this isn't true, this isn't true, based on so many different, like, for example, Mike smoking it, like, people can speak for you and they take it as you're saying it. Like, I remember on one of the documentaries. Now you have to think, Mike's not a medical professional. None of these people. This is even fairly new for the court. Like, for the court, like, for that court. I know it's all different in every court. It's like they never had cases like this before, and so Mike is going off of, like, as much as he can know. And so I remember one time he was saying, like, she's taking all these medications, her teeth are falling out. And, like, that's actually, if you actually go through the medical records, I'm not saying medications never affected your teeth at all, but they didn't make your teeth fall out. But that statement he said, it's like, that never came from you. So,
right. It's a broad
came from someone
statement.
else. Exactly. And people take all the information, and if you ever did say that, you don't think people have, y'all gotta think, you don't think people talk to Gypsy about, like, oh, this was happening to you, this was happening to you, and she's just, like, taking that in and repeating what she I mean, she can only come up with theories too. She's not a medical professional. And
actually, what's even crazier is like, when I was going through my court hearings before I went to prison and before my plea deal, honestly, the things that me and my attorneys talked about was not so much about the medical side per se. It was more about what was weird about my life. Like, what's your daily life was like with your mom? And I explained what our daily life would be like, but it's not like I came to Mike or Clate and was like, yeah, I was on a bunch of medications and it made my teeth fall out. I never said things like that. He was able to pin a very possible case of Munchausen without, obviously she was not diagnosed. And if she was, she would have been in prison and the murder would have never happened. But that's not how things played out. So basically what did the talking was not me. It was my medical records. Because at that time, I really knew very little. I knew that I lived an abnormal life. And a creator had pointed out, never did I ever tell Nick I'm being abused. Because I didn't grow up thinking it was abuse. I grew up thinking I have a weird fucking mom.
Exactly. That's so. Anybody should understand that most people who are abused a lot of people who are abused, especially throughout their whole life when grooming is included in that, don't realize that this is abuse. Like you said in your interrogation, your mom was very controlling. Control is a form of abuse. And you just didn't realize what all she really was controlling.
Exactly.
When you are born into that, it's like you are indoctrinated and that is all you know. And you think that the rest of the world has a life just like yours. Been there, done it. And the brain is our biggest protector, and it will shut down memories. It will cloud memories. It will... Gypsy, I told you the other day, my sister can't remember anything from our childhood. Nothing. And I told her, it's like I told you, I think it's God's grace sometimes that you can't remember some things. I think it's your body's way of protecting you from those memories because things were so traumatic for my sister. I'm actually grateful she can't remember those things. But it's just like being born into a cult when from the time you're little, this is all you know and you think it's normal and everybody else lives like that until you get older and realize something's not right here.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna, you're absolutely right. My late husband's daughter, her mom passed away at 7, and she, to this day, she has, I have memories of my mom at 7. She has no memory. It's been totally blocked out, despite the therapy and everything else. She remembers nothing of her mother, and her mother wasn't her mother. He had found her mom unalived in the bathroom from an asthma attack. It was so traumatic to her that she just blocked all memories out. Your mind does have a way of blocking stuff. Now, people don't realize that somebody's in abuse, grow up with it, when they get away from it, and they go through therapy, things that happened they didn't remember, well, they all of a sudden do remember.
Right here. Oh, I found
If
it.
you know what I mean.
So, you know how this is one of the things Becca Soups pushes a lot. She says the whole like battered spouse syndrome, and a lot of people like she says that he tested it on Facebook to see how it would work out, and when that didn't work out, people weren't falling for it. That's when no, actually, y'all, these are Mike's notes right here, and you will hear for himself that he was never. That was watch. I'm gonna read Mike's notes, and you're gonna hear exactly how that went because that is a lie. He knew that it was never going to be that. Okay, this is a totally weird, a bizarre case, and like Mike's never, dealt with this type of crime before, like meaning like the history behind Gypsy, like in Gypsy's life, okay? And so he's learning all this stuff about her medical records. He's learning about her life, and he found the best. Oh, like I'm gonna read. I gotta get my charger. I'm gonna read you so you can understand exactly what actually happened. He is thinking from a lawyer's point of view. The only thing that he can think of that is it makes sense to. So he knew that wasn't going to be. That's the like when he reaches out to this doctor, he's telling him like the only way that he can understand it is like this defense, but he knows like he needs a workaround, like he needs to figure out what the defense will actually be because he knows this won't be it but it's not something that's really been done in that courthouse at all before. So he's asking for assistance to help him find the correct defense it would be because it's that bizarre. Well, I'm just gonna read it to y'all. Y'all can interpret it the way you want, and you'll learn that it wasn't that it didn't work out. This was never like the first plan. Oh my God, I spent that on my phone on accident. But so Gypsy talked about this on a phone call with somebody. Yeah, Mike probably had those conversations with her and explained about her. Gypsy's somebody who's in prison, never has and doesn't have any background. You think she understands anything legal? But you're gonna learn. I'm gonna read you Mike's notes, and you can learn exactly why he even mentioned battered spouse syndrome. It's not because that right there was going to be the defense. He knew he was going to have to find something. That's just the category. He knew it's something like that. Okay, so Gypsy is charged with first degree murder. She's done her mother Dee Dee. Her boyfriend Nicholas is also charged. They met in a long relationship. I'm going to get to the most important part. In March, they first met. Nick rode a bus from Big Bend to Springfield. Gypsy's mother figured out that they knew each other and forbade Gypsy for talking to him. Gypsy and her mother's relationship became toxic. In June, they planned on alive her. Nick went to Wisconsin. The Gypsy was in the bathroom while it happened. The two of them traveled to Wisconsin where they ultimately apprehended. Gypsy's case is very unique. At the time of this murder, hold on, let me to the next page. You're gonna see that he talks about this. Okay, at the time of the Gypsy believed wait, no, it's what did it say last? Everyone, meaning people in Gypsy's life, believed that Gypsy had numerous serious health conditions and was confined permanently to a wheelchair. This was not true. Her mother had worked out an elaborate scam and had raised Gypsy to assist her in that, to be complicit. Which y'all do understand what complicit means, right? It doesn't make you not a victim. Gypsy was almost completely isolated from her entire family and from the outside world. Gypsy never went anywhere alone. She had very limited contact with family members. Her entire family believed that she was sick and couldn't walk. I had personally met with her entire extended family. They had no idea that Dee Dee was doing this to Gypsy. Gypsy's family all lives in extreme southern Louisiana, and Dee Dee and Gypsy have lived in southwest Missouri since Hurricane Katrina. Dee Dee changed the spelling of their last name and even changed Gypsy's birth date and convinced Gypsy she was 4 years younger than she really was. I discovered that Dee Dee had warrants for her arrest in Louisiana for several thefts dating back from before Katrina, including one where her father was the victim. Gypsy's actions and reasoning skills are very adolescent, preteen. She states she has very little formal education. She speaks intelligently, but doesn't reason things out very well. Her writing skills are fairly elementary. She's writing in a block letters. It appears that her mother and her treated ailments that she did not have. We found a stolen prescription pad, so that's true. You know how like everybody tries to say that's a true story. We found a stolen prescription pad from Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City at the house, and Gypsy has a feeding tube in her stomach that she clearly does not need. She says that her mother refused to have it removed. She was given seizure medication by her mother. She has taken meds or had seizures since she has not taken meds or had any seizures since her arrest 3 months ago. Most of her teeth are false. She states that her mother was given her medication. I have spoken with family, and they claim that Gypsy was younger. Dee Dee had been poisoning her stepmother for several months when she was younger. And when they found out this, Dee Dee disappeared and with Gypsy. Gypsy says that her mother controlled every aspect of her life. She never left the house without her mother. She never spent time with friends alone. Her mother executed DPOAs, which is true. I seen them. They're signed. With all the doctors, and did most, if not all, the talking. Her mother was verbally, emotionally, and occasionally physically abusive with Gypsy. When Gypsy wouldn't do what she was told. Dee Dee used false ailments to scam tons of charities all over the country. Gypsy was told how to act and what to say most of the time. She never got to speak for herself. When Gypsy started expressing interest in having a full relationship and possibly marrying Nick, she says her mother became very controlling and abusive, telling her that no one loved her except for her mom and that she would never be allowed to leave because the doctors all thought that Gypsy was crazy and they would return her home if she left. Nick likewise was very abusive and controlling. I have reviewed many of his this part, y'all, and I hope it comes out soon. Nick likewise was very abusive and controlling. I have reviewed many of his Facebook conversations with female friends and Gypsy. His interactions are very controlling. He can demand certain words. He said he can talk bad about Gypsy, but one of his female friends is not allowed at all to say one word that disparages her. So he said like he could talk bad about Gypsy, but one of his with Gypsy, he talked her into S&M. So he's getting this from Facebook messages, y'all, okay? And she says, and the Facebook posting confirm that it started very pedestrian and grew into very dark and controlling. She was the submissive part of activity, and she was required to respond. He would post a pic of some S&M activity. She was required to respond. She was also required to respond certain ways. She had to call him daddy. If she failed, and this is information he's getting from the Facebook messages that y'all haven't seen yet, okay? She was submissive order, blah blah. She was also required to respond certain ways. She had to call him daddy if she failed to respond correctly. He would get very upset because he would have to delete the post and start all over again. He would also tell her to take pictures in costumes and nude photos. He says that if she didn't do it, he would be very angry. According to his writings, he had multiple personalities. 3 personalities interacted with Gypsy as well as his other friends. Victor Aziz Facade was very dark and homicidal. He is he was the one who was talking to Gypsy when meaning Victor, when Nick unallowed DD. Gypsy says that Victor was very dangerous, and the text Nick sent the night before he showed up for the murder stated that she was to do whatever Victor said because he loved to kill and he did not want to hurt Gypsy. Which imagine the person that's going to allow the murder to saying that like you have to behave because this person likes to kill. So that means that Gypsy has to listen to him. But yeah. But Key was saying, yeah, that was all her that night. Yeah, Gypsy was definitely involved in the planning. Gypsy was definitely involved in the planning of the murder and was present.
Well, you know what?
Wait, Dreamer, I'm not done. Hold on. And was present but did not participate in the act itself. What I am looking at, okay, is some form of battered spouse syndrome. Gypsy's mother so isolated her and abused her so much over her childhood that Gypsy had no other alternative but to kill her mother. I have yet to find the parallel to the battered spouse syndrome. The area is extremely unique. What he's saying is the parallel for that, meaning that he knows that won't be the defense. He doesn't think because it's battered spouse syndrome, but he's using that. That's why he's reaching out to this person. Because I'll read the rest so you can understand. You see, these are the medical records. These are records that Becca Scoops doesn't have. I need a neuropsychological evaluation to determine what the effects are on Gypsy from all of this. I need someone with training and credentials to potentially help to understand what this defense will have to be. He does not even understand what it will be called because it's so unique, literally. Because frankly, the scenario is extremely unique. Y'all need to understand people and not try to twist their words or twist what was happening. You're not a lawyer. Dr. Scoops, you're not even a nurse anymore. But anyways, I have spoken with Pat and Chelsea, and they both tell me that Dr. Fabian is excellent. I spoke with Dr. Fabian for about an hour and gave him the same information that I listed above. He even believes that this case is very unique and that it will take a considerable amount of workup, being that there are so many medical records. Dr. Fabian's evaluation testimony. God, this stuff on here is brown stuff. Let me kind of scrape it off. Okay, I'm about to skip the part. As Dr. Fabian, the state. Wait, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. The state has sufficient evidence. However, okay. The state has sufficient evidence. However, her psychological and physical trauma growing up, I believe that Dr. Fabian could help me get to the defense that I need. That I frankly am not. What is spilled on this? And that I'm not, at minimum, able to find a parallel with what I have found. I don't understand. He knows that won't be it. I'm guessing a parallel. Anyways, Dr. Fabian charges blah 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 an hour blah blah. The rest doesn't matter. Oh wait, he based on results of furniture expert opinion blah blah. Okay, so do you see like the battery? That was the first defense, and they put it on Facebook, and like they tested it out. That's a lie. That's based off of things that I don't even know where they got that from, because Munchausen by proxy, literally, that was talked about on Megan Pack's thought catalog long before this. Let me tell you when this was written. This was written on. Let me see what's the date on this. You ready for this? 12/24/16.
You're welcome to show it if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I can.
Okay. You don't have to, but it's fine.
No. Oh yeah, I can show it. 12/24/16. These notes that I just read, that means a whole year later. A whole year later. So the defense. So he knew about Munchausen, and he even knew. He saw that in the medical records, the ones that he had so far. He was waiting for some of the medical records still. That's how long it took for a lot of these medical records to come in. But so that's what I just read from. Hold on, let me. And what is this? Oh, I believe all the pictures I took today. I believe the majority of the descriptions are okay. That's something different. So he didn't even write that because they thought they might have to go to trial. Remember, so he was trying to find an expert for trial, like all lawyers have to do. And he spoke to this guy and everything. They did an interview with Crime Weekly, like something like that. I think you might have spoken to him, Gypsy. I'm not positive though, but I know that Mike did.
I did get to speak to him when we were filming. I was already in prison, about ready to get out. It was right before I married Ryan that I got to have a phone interview with him, and they show that on the show, The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. They show our phone call.
And I was reading that, and I was saying, oh yeah. So when people say that was the defense, no, that was the best way for him, like the grasp that he had on this, because it was so just unique, because it really is, and sadly, it's probably not as unique as people think, but people get away with it. I promise you, there are other people, whether they're children, whether they're young adults, and whether they're elderly people, especially, who are living like this, and we will never know. And guess what? We really won't ever know if we never listen to people to educate ourselves for red flags, because if all we do is constantly invalidate people, then that's never going to help. But the defense wasn't, he knew that specific defense, he couldn't find a parallel, because that one didn't fit. And the reason it doesn't mention Munchausen by proxy in there is because that's not a defense. You can't, Munchausen by proxy, that wasn't the full defense. It was because that wasn't the only thing. Gypsy suffered psychological abuse. Like, there was more than just Munchausen by proxy. That's the medical side of things. Her mom, and yeah, and mentally, and from meaning like from the Munchausen by proxy too, but there was stuff even outside of that that had nothing to do with that. Like the fact that her mother wanted, like she viewed Gypsy as a possession. So like telling her like no one's ever gonna love you except for me, that had nothing to do with the Munchausen by proxy. That was a whole different other thing. It might have stemmed from that. So there was no defense ever used because she never went to trial. But with all that they had, they were able to present that to the prosecution, and the prosecution felt like these was mitigating. Like there was enough that they saw that they felt like Gypsy deserved to have a lesser sentence, but still be punished for her crime. So 10 years they felt like was fair. Like, you know, Mike and Christy told me the story. He said that Mike, they were in an elevator together when they decided that they happened to get in the elevator, and Mike told he was like 10, they had been discussing and they never decided anything yet, and he was like 10 years, and Dan was like, all right, I could do that, 10 years. And I think that the way that Dan talks about it in the show, you can tell that he really did have empathy for you, but he also felt like you should be punished. Anybody who has actually reviewed this case and really reviewed it, experts, not people on the fucking internet, experts. There is no expert that has ever denied that Gypsy was abused based on what they have seen of her records. Not based on when, you have to think, Gypsy didn't talk to a lot of these people. Gypsy didn't talk to them. They saw they saw documents. They saw shit that y'all might not ever see. That's what they saw. Gypsy, even with Mike, the people saying like he's the one that came up. Mike didn't know Gypsy or Dee Dee. He was going off of what he saw too. Every person that built this case to present to the prosecution for a deal based their information off of what they had, which was what they received from Dee Dee's house, from doctors, because there was medical records there too, which is the reason why Mike went further to request them from everywhere else, because there was huge red flags just alone from the medical records that there were at the house. There was a book underneath the bed that literally there was sections in it, and it told different stories of Gypsy's life. And Christy's been telling me she wants to try to find that for me. She hopes she still has it. But it was because you know how your mom, you would probably remember this, did different, if Louisiana, people in Louisiana, for example, or people in Missouri, people still thought you had cancer, but doctors knew you never had cancer. It's that was a way for your mom to keep up with her lies. She literally had a book underneath the bed that had different diagnoses and different things that you had going on with you at the same exact time, but for three different, for people in Missouri, doctors in Missouri, and family and friends in Louisiana. Y'all.
It's compartmentalizing. She did that with her Facebook accounts too, because
Yep.
the Snow Gypsy Blanchard account that has a picture of me dressed as Cinderella, that was her account. Even though it was under my name, that was her account for the people in Louisiana. Okay, so the people that knew my real age, such as my aunts and my uncles, okay, so she would keep them on one Facebook page. And then the D-Gyp Blanchard, with the E at the end of Blanchard, was for the people of Missouri that knew me as a different age, and also with the E at the end of the last name, okay? So, she compartmentalized, separating the people that knew the truth versus the people that knew the lies. She was smart. She was a very, very, very smart woman. You have to be to do all that.
And I also bet she was, I bet it's, her health. I think her health probably took a toll on her because, for one, she was so focused on this, but also because, imagine, I know you told me one time that sometimes you think that your mom, got so entangled in these web of lies that it's she literally mentally, physically, in no way could unravel herself. And you never knew if she wanted to, but you think that, I remember you saying something even if she did want to, she never would. It's she was so tangled in so many lies. And no, you never knew that at the time, but retrospectively, looking back, that's the way that, I remember you explaining it somewhere you don't know if your mom ever wanted to stop or but you think that she would have never been able to, probably because of it was so into lies, having to keep 3 separate lies in a way, because There were things. There were things she told doctors that even her own next door neighbor thought differently of.
Correct. What is it called when someone? Okay, there's Munchausen by proxy, which we obviously know what that means. Or Munchausen, that when the individual makes the diagnosis that they probably already have worse
So is that not
to an extreme.
Well, I mean, is that not? That's not Munchausen or factitious.
I'm not sure like her line falls on
I can look.
with this one lady that it was a neighbor of ours, because this neighbor drove my mom to the appointment, and it was in 4th of 14. My mom went in for kidney stones. It was a removal procedure where they like blast the kidney stone. Well, she told the neighbor that she had half a kidney. Okay, so what is that? Is it malingering or is it Munchausen?
That's Munchausen.
I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
Munchausen though.
And then
Is when it's used on another person. When it's yourself, it's Munchausen.
So are you saying that your mom made conditions that she made them up?
yes, and that's why in the messages to Nick where I'm telling him, "Oh, my mom is in such poor health," because she was telling me, "Oh, my diabetes is getting so much worse. They're putting me, there's fluid. I'm probably not." Even when the last Disney trip we went to, she was telling people she had 6 months to live at the checkout, like the check-in counter. Yeah, where could we go? We want to make this as special as possible because I only have 6 months to live. Like what is that called?
You thinking of hypochondria?
I mean, it might be like there's hypochondria, there's Munchausen, there's malingering, and adults.
Munchausen would be if she were making herself sick on purpose.
It's not that.
Oh, but she can also Munchausen is also it's fictitious disorder, which is saying that. So it would be fictitious instead of opposed to be on yourself. Like so, say if she say if she she has diabetes, do you think she ever purposely would not take care of it so she could be sick to go to the doctor?
To manipulate me, there would be times that like I would be, should we call it acting up? It would just be like talking back and stuff like that. She purposely not take her insulin, and that's whenever like her depression, and she would sleep for days on end, and like she'd get up to give me my medication, give me my feedings, but she herself wouldn't give herself her insulin, and then she would guilt trip me by saying like it's because you're acting bad and you're having an effect on me. I just don't want to take care of myself anymore because I have a reason to live. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, manipulation. Yeah.
That's because she saw you as a possession and she was losing you as a possession, where she felt like she didn't want to lose you as a possession. Like, you know how you told me like the letter she wrote you like when you ran away to Dan's, like when she left it on the pillow for you, like and the talk she had with you, it was like, I know you had told me that y'all never talked about what life was like for you. It just was what it was. But like in that letter, it was like in so many ways was like I can't believe you like you did this to me like almost all of whatever came crashing down. Was like this really hurt me. Like she was so hurt by you by doing that, even though you was running away from her, like a running away from your abuser, and then you come back and your abuser makes you feel bad for hurting them because you ran away, even though you're on leave. But like, so it makes you feel almost like bad. So even though you was resenting your mother at that time, you was also trying to gain her love back at the same time. you had hurt her so much, and she told you. I think you told me that you said he was like some things are forgivable, but this isn't. Like,
If people don't want to, if people still believe that just because I have microdeletion, and I had that diagnosis 12, if people
11 girl, 2011 girl,
no,
girl.
no, okay, whatever, whatever.
You see,
People want to still stick to that. That's their opinion, but at the end of the day, those same documents that they're citing to prove their point was reviewed by the judge, reviewed by all the court system that my case went, tracking some kind of case that had already been reviewed, if that makes sense.
you know what, Gypsy? This is going really below the surface here. But your mother she wanted to get any diagnosis she can get for you, and it was almost like another need me blah blah blah. If you think about it, them using that to basically invalidate you is the same exact thing make you feel confused and constantly oh, we gotta go to the doctor for this. It's like they're basically doing that what your mom did to you. You were sick, just like your mom was constantly putting in your head.
God, I can't believe you. Oh my God, I can't believe you're even saying this right now, because I literally have been feeling this. May have even told Sheena this. It's like I feel like even though she's not even here anymore, her control, even after, holy crap, she has pulled the wool over all of the internet right now.
It's crazy.
She was later that even in death, she's still doing the most. It's crazy.
That is so. If y'all don't realize how deep that is, something's wrong with y'all. Really, truly, because that's how because as much as people try to this diagnose, and it's your mom won. Shit, your mom did it with all of them. That just microdeletion. They think that explains everything. Nobody with a microdeletion has every single thing. They they're this, and that. The point mother tried to get you diagnosed with every single thing that's a part of any chromosome disorder. Chromosome disorder is a huge red flag. Cerebral palsy. You never had cerebral. Told people you did, and it's things like that, because why? That you could get that from having a chromosomal disorder. Your mom knew you had a chromosome disorder, she just didn't know which kind. And one other than your dad, she never told doctors that. That's weird. Why would you not tell doctors that your daughter has a chromosome disorder? Because if she told her that, they'd get to the answer sooner. Want that? She didn't want the answer sooner. She wanted any diagnosis she can get, but she doesn't want to get the big picture of it all.
Shoot, all it would have taken was me a genetic specialist, because the genetic specialist that I had seen a couple months ago can pinpoint down to the molecular count of where I'm affected, and know what affects from this 2 point whatever to this 9 point whatever. I'm just throwing out numbers right now because I don't have the forms in front of me or the documents in front of me. The genetic specialist is so trained to understand the human body in the way that they can read them and know exactly what affects what, such as micro affected by that. A lazy eye, I'm affected by that. But when it comes to mental, people say it, I'm not affected by it. And all it would have taken was a genetic specialist to look at those results and see, affected by this, you're affected by this, but you're not affected by this. And boom, boom, boom. It would have been blown out of the water.
If they would have figured that out any sooner, they could have since 2008 actually. If they could have figured that out sooner, because of and if somebody would have even wanted to, even took a chance to look 6 months back to your records, actually really look at them, they would have realized. If I, one who's not a medical professional, see the events that are happening in some in like such a strategic way. Now, when you first look at him, you don't see it that way, but if you really then look it up and find out what this and that means, you will